And welcome back to another night, Wendell Sports DFS Pre-Lock Show. I'm Tony, this Ghost, that's Adam. We're here tonight till 5:45 to talk everything props for profit, our FFVPs, and our cores, and some values as well. A lot of trades going on, boys. A lot of value tonight. Adam said the perfect thing. Said, hey, know what tonight's going to be like? Pick your stud and roll with the value. And it's funny because that's exactly what I did. Obviously, we didn't talk beforehand, so it's always interesting to see what our cores are. Again, give us a follow at Wendell Sports on all social formats. Smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Listen, all three of us, not to pat ourselves on the back, but we're doing well. And again, it's a roller coaster, right? So every now and then, we're going to hit a speed bump. But I don't think tonight's a speed bump. I think tonight is a lot of hidden value, especially because me and Dick were talking. The books aren't even putting those reserves in the prop market because they're afraid as well. So, Ghost, man, who are you looking for that you couldn't find?
There are so many guys. Like I've been looking all season because like I've been waiting for player props for guys that come off the bench and get a decent amount of minutes, and that's usually where the model really stands out above the rest. And it's like there's no Jackson Hayes props, there's no Dennis Smith Jr. props, there's no Justice Winslow props. Like there's nothing on anybody, and
no, there's not.
It's kind of tough, but it seems like that's the trend that we're going with the NBA markets now. All the books are only posting starters, and good for them because or else they'd go bankrupt pretty quickly.
That's what's happening. And listen, we're still in a pandemic, boys, so they don't want to go. They don't want to be busting their pockets out when we're killing them every night. So I see what they're doing, absolutely. But tonight, 10 games tonight, and I still feel it. I know there was a CJ McCollum going today. Sabonis, Ghost, you had to be dying. Your boy Sabonis, he goes, man.
It was literally I tweeted it too. The viral TikTok gif where the guy screaming emotional damage. Like that was literally me today. When Sabonis gets traded for Hallie, I was like, bro, it's literally two of my boys getting traded for one another. Like that's not chill. But man, it's like I understand why everyone's outraged for the Kings. I still think they overpaid, but like let's not forget that Domantas Sabonis is like, okay, all jokes aside there, I joke about him all the time about how he's the best big in the league and this, that, but like, no, seriously, he is a top 10 big in the league. Like I'm not just saying that because I love the guy's game, but like he's actually a top 10 big in the league, and that's exactly what they needed. They had way too many backcourt guys, and realistically, if it was Fox in that trade instead of Halliburton, they still would have said that they overpaid because you shouldn't have traded De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield for Sabonis. You could have just traded Fox, and that's not the way negotiating works. There's somebody
they might have said that, but they would have been wrong. If it's Fox, it's a good deal.
That's why. Like it's like somebody must have put up a hefty package up for Sabonis, and Indiana went back and they did their negotiating, man. Like good for them. And that front office has been killing it for the past 5 years. Flipping Paul George, like the original trade that started this Indiana rebuild from the Paul George days was trading Paul George to OKC for Sabonis and Oladipo. That was the trade. And people were saying Indiana got fleeced, no draft picks. You're trading Paul George. Sabonis is quietly a top 10 big in the league, and Depot was unreal when he was healthy. They flipped Depot for Karis LeVert and 2 second-round picks. And then they flipped LeVert for an expiring contract, which is cap space in a loaded free agent class and a first-round pick. And now they just traded Sabonis and a very high second-round pick, which is going to be in the 35 range, which is where guys like Draymond Green and Malcolm Brogdon have been getting drafted. And now on top of that, you just flip Sabonis for your point guard of the next decade and one of the best three-point shooters in the league in Buddy Hield. Like, this has been an absolute haul for Indiana over the last 5 years, and hopefully they finally turn the corner because, man, I've been rooting for this team forever to get it together. And now I hope both, like, Sacramento and Indiana, like, everybody has those, like, one teams usually in each conference where they're just rooting for them to finally turn their franchise around. And these are my two teams in both conferences where it's like I just want them to finally see success. And I mean, it is a bit of a high tag to pay for Sabonis, but shout out Sacramento, man. They finally pulled the trigger, and you know what? They have a direction to go with now.
And
you have Fox, you have Davion Mitchell, you have Harrison Barnes on the wing, and you have a true five in Domantas Sabonis now. It's got to work. If it doesn't work, they need to figure something out. But now they have it. They
If
have
it doesn't work, a lot of
there.
people are losing their jobs in a couple years.
A lot of people are going to be out of jobs. But they have it on paper. And you know what? They committed over $200 million to De'Aaron Fox. I still think De'Aaron Fox is the truth. People overreact sometimes to the short term, seeing that what De'Aaron Fox has been doing in the last month or two. It's settled down. De'Aaron Fox is still one of the best point guards in the league. Domantas Sabonis is one of the best bigs in the league. Davion Mitchell is the truth. Been saying that for the last 2 years. They have a good team.
I think you're going to hear that name a lot tonight, by the way.
They have a good team. They can figure it out. They can figure it out. And shout out Indiana because that was an absolute haul. I got to get A+ rating for this.
I hope they're talking to Daryl Morey and the Sixers because I need the Sixers to get an absolute haul for Ben Simmons or something. I'm expecting James Harden.
It really helps. It really helps their case with Ben Simmons now. To see that haul that they just got for Sabonis, it definitely improves Simmons's trade stock. That's for sure.
Except for the part where Simmons hasn't played basketball.
Right. That too.
Well,
no, but I'm like, if people if they were able to get Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield for Sabonis, it definitely helps Simmons as well. And on top of that, now he's the one guy that's left. He's the one guy that's left on the market that can alter a franchise. It's Ben Simmons.
And especially now with
no disrespect to guys like Miles Turner and such, but they're not going to alter someone's franchise. Ben Simmons can alter someone's franchise.
Not that we fully expected Beal to go, but Beal having wrist surgery takes another name to even contemplate off the market.
That sucks.
And Dame's not going anywhere.
No, they're going to try and do the soft rebuild.
Yep.
I've been saying that too. They're going to do it. Portland's going to be a top 4 seed next year in the West.
I think it should be cheaper now.
The tickets for the Minnesota Sacramento game tonight are like $6.
Wow.
No, I kid you not. I saw it on Twitter. I saw it I'm dead serious. There's $6 and $8. Like there's all kinds.
Yeah, you know. Listen, Keith. I'm gonna tell you, man. I'd have taken Buddy Hield in Philly. Not to get on a tangent here, but everybody's complaining about what you can get back for Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons ain't playing right now.
Right.
He's not playing. So, I mean, if you're telling me I could have got Halliburton and I could have got Buddy Hield for Ben Simmons, I'd take it any day of the week. Everybody talking about he's not playing in Philadelphia anymore ever.
I'm just going to keep going back. I'm going to keep going back to that trade proposition that I had in the summer when Pop was knocking on the door and said that he really wanted Ben Simmons. And he offered DeJounte Murray. And I said, you do it right now. 0 picks. Simmons for DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson. And you do it right now. And you run to the phone. And you accept the trade immediately. And you pray that everybody passes their physicals. And they didn't want to do it.
No.
That was bad. That was bad.
Sad.
They're not getting that return now, I don't think.
No. They're not. That would have been fantastic. And listen, anybody out there wants to hear the Philly perspective, join me 7 p.m. Heat Ratio Sports will be live again, and we'll be talking all things Philly. Trust me, there'll be a lot of reaction to Philadelphia 76ers. But
I still think Ben ends up in Portland.
Ben's just not going to be here. I think we all know that, right? Keith says no one wants Ben Jigsaw. Listen, I don't want Ben either. I can't stand him. He's completely altered this franchise. I'm so out on Ben. Ben is exactly who I thought he was.
Name a colder run with draft picks, man. They whiffed on Markelle Fultz.
Oh, They
whiffed on Joel Okafor.
Ghost, you're killing me.
They whiffed on Nerlens Noel. They whiffed on Michael Carter Williams. They
MCW.
Man!
Thank God for Embiid, right?
Yes.
Thank God for Embiid.
They're batting like 150 right now, trying to make it to the Hall of Fame, and it's like, wow, that's rough.
I know.
That's a lot of whiffs, man.
I know.
That's a lot of whiffs.
Look. Wait, say average gamers killing me. Even throws Evan Turner in there, man.
Wow.
We want number 2. Went number 2 overall. I know. All right, enough. I'm done. I can't. Listen. I got a hard stop tonight in like 17 minutes anyway, so I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. So listen, all you got to know is you got to smash the like button. You got to listen to us because we're making people money, making ourselves money. We're having fun doing it, and just enjoy the wave, man. And Adam, I got to bow down to Ghost. Ghost has been unbelievable. Everybody tailing Ghost. He's been insane over the last week. I mean, all three of us have been really good, but Ghost has been on another level, dude.
I'm just still afraid to give anything out at this point.
What's that? I know,
I'm
right?
I'm still afraid to give anything out. It's because it's not going to work, and then I'm going to look like an idiot next to this guy.
We just get destroyed, man. We're just getting destroyed. Hey, listen.
I'm like, oh, thank God Ghost is hot because he's saving my ass at the book.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Thankfully, right? Thankfully, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But let's get right into the core. We got 10 games tonight, a lot of different values, reserves. We talked about it. Adam, because you weren't on last, so let's go right to you. You sent me your stuff earlier. Talking through your core right here. Let us know what you got.
Yeah, listen, it's a 10-game slate. You can pretty much narrow it down to probably about 4 or 5. It's going to be popular, but I'm perfectly fine biting on 2 Blazers. I think you need at least 2 in your lineups tonight. So, I'm not going to spend on the higher end. Nurk and Simons are great plays because they don't have anybody since they traded, half the team they had left at this point. Every single Portland Trailblazer that is not named Simons or Nurkic is $3,500 or under on DK tonight. That opens up everything. So give me McLemore, give me Winslow. I'll spend a little bit down, and then I'm going right back to the top of the grid. Giannis against the Lakers in the game that has the highest total of the night. It's like a 4 or 5 point spread. There's nobody that's going to stop Giannis. I understand Anthony Davis is back. He's playing good basketball, but Giannis is just unstoppable. And in a big game like this, big environment, he's going to come up large. And then I'm going to either run it back with LeBron or I'm going Jokic. And I actually have 2 separate lineups with those 2. So one has Jokic, one has LeBron because I can't really decide which one. So I'm playing both.
I like it. It's funny because I was going to throw LeBron in my core, and I'm a LeBron hater. I drink the Haterade all day long. And I was like, man, this just feels like that 50-plus DK night for LeBron. I don't know what it is, right?
He's too cheap. I mean, he came back from the knee injury, played 40 minutes, and dropped a triple-double for 66 DK points. What more can you say about him?
I know. I can't. I'm a Jordan guy, man. That's all I gotta say. I'm a Jordan guy.
Well, Jordan's not available in my pool tonight, so I'd take one of the next best things.
Listen, I said last night I would start Siakam because he gives me snowflakes, and Ghost is like, he killed it. So just go against Jigsaw. You'll be good to go. Trust me. Just go against Jigsaw when you talk about cores. We'll be good to go. But mine's a little different. I like it. And again, a lot of different values you could go by. I love Trae Young tonight. I really do. Exactly what we talked about. Indiana has got a short team right now. There's a lot of different revolving parts because of all the trade activity. So I really feel the Trae Young love tonight. And Christian Wood to me, again, like I love me some Christian Wood. And he's going up against the Pelicans. And again, he's still only 8,200. He's been hovering around that 86 to 8,200. And all he just does is produce 50 and 40 point nights. I don't understand it. So again, I'm going to fall in love again with the Christian Wood train. And then I got some interesting plays, right? So we talked about that. I love Duarte from Indiana. He's going to get tons of clock tonight. And if you look at his numbers, when he gets minutes, he gets points, right? So and that's how I do my stuff right here. So I'm looking at 36 minutes, 35 points. It's like a point per minute, right? So when he plays over 30 plus minutes, he does score. And again, tonight, he's got nobody, man. It's him. It's going to be the Duarte show, right? It's going to be the Duarte show. That's why I like that. And I'm going old school tonight, right? Same thing with Brooklyn. Everybody out. Nobody playing. I'm going to Blake Griffin show tonight, right? Because Blake Griffin has actually been pretty consistent. Right. So when you look at his numbers, even without the injuries that's going on, the last game he plays 30 minutes, he drops 30. Right. But every game he's dropping 30, 20, 25, 28. And again, on a team that he's going to have to run with tonight against Boston. I'm not scared of Al Horford. I hate Al Horford, by the way. I'm not scared of him anyway. So 4,600, I really like this play. And I'm going one of those side. Davion Mitchell, again. You look at the Sacramento, they just made a trade. They traded everybody, right? They traded everybody. And when you look at Mitchell's numbers, when he plays that maximum minute log, okay, when he plays over 30, 34, 35 minutes, he scores points. So this could be every bit of a 40-plus night for Davion Mitchell. And again, they're playing Minnesota too. It's not like we're playing, this high motor defensive squad. They're playing Minnesota at home, and he's 5,400. So for me, I'm rolling with that. That's my core tonight. I know I don't normally go 5. I usually go 3 studs, but I got 2 big money guys, and the rest are value guys, in my opinion. So Ghost, you're up, and let us know, man, what you got.
Same theme as Adam. Got to get at least 2 Portland guys in your lineup, and I'm just going right to the bottom of the barrel here. And Justice Winslow, Dennis Smith Jr. High usage guys. They'll be able to attack the glass. Dennis Smith Jr. in particular grades out really well in terms of his scoring ability in this one. So I will be riding out both of those ridiculously cheap Blazers.
But no
I'm going
problem.
I'm going to Jackson Hayes. I'm going to Jackson Hayes in the mid-range.
Ooh.
And amongst all these $5,500 plays, Jackson Hayes is just going ridiculously overlooked. And New Orleans has kind of been flirting with playing both him and Joval on the court together, and he's looked really good. He's looked really good. He's showing that scoring punch. He's dropping threes. He's getting to the stripe. He's attacking the glass. Like, he does so much for this Pelicans team that at 54, it doesn't scare me in terms of our price tag. He still grades out really well for me in my model. And I'm going right back to the well with everybody kind of overlooking that Jackson Hayes play for a lot of other guys in the $5,500 range, which one of them is Davion Mitchell, who is going to be the 4th member of my core. Everyone knows how I feel about Davion Mitchell, of course. Former Baylor Bear. Everyone knows what my favorite school is. And he's just an absolute force on both ends of the court. And tonight, I will say this. If De'Aaron Fox plays, I'm coming off Davion for Chris Duarte because I want a primary ball handler versus Atlanta. And I'm not down to have too much chalk in my lineup. And I know the Portland guys are going to be ridiculously high rostered. Jackson Hayes is going to be really low, kind of counteracts that. But everyone's going stars and scrubs tonight, and rightfully so. It's the way you should be building tonight. But these 5K plays is where you can get spicy with it. And I will take an under-rostered Chris Duarte over Davion if and only if De'Aaron Fox is active. And he practiced fully yesterday. Monday, De'Aaron Fox, full shoot-around and full practice. So it looks like, if anything, they were holding him out to possibly trade him or Hallie. Now that Hallie's gone, this is the team that they have. If Fox is healthy, he's a go tonight. And I will say this, he's not going to be the 4th member of my core. But let's just say I have a lot of love for De'Aaron Fox in this matchup. With Hallie gone, this could be a game where De'Aaron Fox shows everybody that it's still his franchise.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I mean, I completely overlooked that. That's a really good point when we talk about De'Aaron Fox. God, it's another
ridiculously underpriced. Like,
yes,
in previous seasons when Buddy Hield was out, and believe it or not, Bogdanovic used to be on this team, which Sacramento let go for free, by the way. At least we forget. Like, don't let the Halliburton news overlook the fact that Bogdanovic walked in free agency as a restricted free agent, walked for free. All right, so let's not forget about that either. When he was inactive, when Buddy Hield was inactive, everybody was playing De'Aaron Fox. And at 8.1, he should be right up there in the 9K range. So the core 4 that's up there with Winslow, DSJ, Jackson Hayes, and Davion or Chris Duarte, if Fox is in, I'm going Duarte. If Fox is out, I'm sticking with Davion. This gives you 8.5K per player to round out your roster. You could go 4 8.5K guys. You can go 2 studs and another 2 mid-range. Sengun. You could even play Duarte with Davion if you want, and then still get 2 studs. LeBron, Giannis, Embiid, Joker, whichever way you want to go. It's completely up to you, but there's max flexibility in this build. And I will say this. You could go 3 studs, one of them being a very underpriced De'Aaron Fox if you go Duarte over Davion Mitchell. Hint.
And don't forget with Jokic, the Knicks have no bigs. Noel and Mitchell Robinson are both out. Like,
not worried about Taj Gibson?
Yeah, you're gonna tell me Taj Gibson's gonna be on Jokic? Good luck with that, brother.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna work.
Yo, Taj Gibson, but here's the thing: Taj Gibson's going to get clocked. So, you're right. But again, there's a $3,000 player. Hint. That could possibly get you some nice change if you're building a bunch of studs. So, just throwing that out there. You never know. It's all about volume too. So, but you're right. He's not holding a candle to Joker tonight. That's for damn sure. 100%. Ivan says, as an Nova guy, have to ask about Jalen Brunson.
He just doesn't fit for me. Like, just with the way I'm building, all my guard spots are taken up by like Duarte, Davion, Simons at 7K. Some of the cheaper guards for Portland. I can't find room for them. And keep in mind, Luka only played under 30 minutes last time out because he was in foul trouble. He had 5 fouls immediately after halftime. That was kind of the only reason that Luka played so few minutes. So it's just not a priority for me. I'm not saying Brunson can't have a good game, but he won't be in my lineup.
No, I don't like him because he's $7,000, $6,900, $7,000. That's just I can't.
I can't make the case to play him over Simons tonight. There's no way I can do that.
Exactly. And that's what you have to look at. Like we talked about that before. You always look at who's in, who's the 3 above, who's the 3 below. Look at everything, objectively, minutes wise, volume wise, who backups are, everything. And he just doesn't fit 100%. Keep checking it. Holiday was a good call. Yeah, listen, it was one of those deals, right? It worked out. The FFVP strikes again. So I'm glad you played him out. I know a lot of people played him and he did work out pretty well. Carmen, as always, checking in the show is money. Thanks for all those tweets as well. The retweets and the likes are much appreciated on the Win Daily page. And before we get to the FFVPs, we got Key checking in, says, thoughts on Jeremy Grant seems too cheap on FanDuel.
I don't know what he is off.
How much is it? I'm on DraftKings right now. I'm not sure what Jeremy Grant is on FanDuel.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's too cheap on FanDuel because almost everybody's too cheap on FanDuel, it seems like. Let me pull him up here. I would bet he's probably around like 65-ish if I had to guess. And I can't even find him. Jeremy Grant. Sorry, I know this is terrible.
That's all right. Why Adam's doing that, right? No, that's fine. So while Adam's doing that, we're going to talk on fantasy firebox value plays. Ghost, we'll talk privately. I'm not sure what you want to do. I got to roll in like 5 minutes. If you want to keep the show going, it's up to you. Or we want to end it real fast or stuff out. You just hit me up in the chat. Let me know. Fantasy firebox value play again every day. What we're doing now is we're posting who that top guy was, and we try to give you guys at least 1 or 2 value guys that are very, very cheap, and that can hit some lineups. Last night was Aaron Holiday, right? It was Aaron Holiday. Now tonight, I got 3 of them tonight. There's 3 guys that were like I had blinders on. I kept gravitating towards them again. And number 1 is DSJ. We just talked about Dennis Smith Jr. He's in the core for Ghost. I mean, again, in Portland, $3,100, I think is just a steal for Dennis Smith Jr. tonight. You got to play him. Lance Stevenson, again, it's crazy, but the evolution of
air guitar Lance.
Right.
Air guitar Lance. I love it.
They trade everybody, right? They got so he's got to play minutes tonight. So again, this is all about volume minutes and big time play. And then I know Adam mentioned about Joker. Here's the thing about the reason why I like Taj Gibson. That's all they have, right? That's all they have. This is what I look at. I look at that. And Taj, listen, I was looking for some props from Taj Gibson. I was thinking, you know what? Maybe Taj gets a double-double night, like a cheap, like 10 points, 10 rebounds, right? Taj hasn't done nothing all year. But if he plays 19, 15 minutes, he gets you 17, 20 points. So tonight could be one of those nights where he plays 25 minutes and gets you 20 to 22 points, and you only spent $3,000, right? So he could be that last end line of defense in your DK lineup. So just certain guys that I kind of pick out that you can kind of sift through when it gets to that. But Ghost, you got an FFVP for tonight?
It's the 2 in my core, keeping it simple.
I
just laid it out. That's right
easy.
there, showing all my cards tonight. It's DSJ. It's Winslow. Just 2 load up. Like yesterday, we said Wizards as a collective group are an FFVP group, and it worked out really well. Tonight it's just the Portland Trailblazers, man.
It really is.
Even if they put up 80 points as a team, there's going to be at least 2 to 3 of these guys that go for 10 times their value tonight.
Pick your reserve Blazers.
You need at least 2. You have to have 2.
I'm personally not playing Simons or Nurkic, so it's very easy. Like, you could just mix and match the 2 of them. If it's LB, if it's DSJ, if it's Winslow, literally just pick the 2 that you guys like.
Oh, Adam, is that what you're on as well?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's Winslow. I had McLemore in the core, Dennis Smith Jr., the guys we've been talking about, the guys who are sitting at the top of the model right now. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 5. Actually, 6 of the top 10 model plays are Blazers. To the surprise of no one, because there is nobody left out in Portland. And it's not like it's a bad matchup either, right? Like, it's the Orlando Magic. This team's sitting in the bottom 10 of defensive rating. They're not playing the Bucks or something again. They're playing a crap team.
No, I agree completely. I mean, that's what you got to go by. I know I said a lot, but that's what you got to go by. So listen, boys, I'm gonna roll out of here. Ghost and Adam, I'm gonna keep this going. But before I go, again, I got to throw my props up here, my props for profit, because I know these guys will talk about theirs later. But not a lot of analysis because I got to roll. But again, I'm going Julius Randle over 19.5 points tonight, plus 100. Again, a lot of Knicks out. He's going to get a lot of clock tonight. When he plays a lot of minutes, he normally scores 20 plus. I know he's been killing Jay lately. He was all
better make sure Jay's not playing him, or else you might want to back off that.
Well, you know what? You're right. I gotta text Jay.
You gotta check in and see if he's playing Randall or not.
Yeah, I like that. And I only listen, Ghost. He hurt me with the De'Aaron Fox. Okay, so I was looking at the Davion.
My bad. This is proof that we don't talk before the show. This is proof that we
right, and that's what I love about it. So I completely overlooked the Fox factor. But you know what? I'm still feeling good about this because somebody else still has to score. Right, somebody else still has to score. So why not let that be Davion Mitchell? 20 plus points, plus 185. I juiced it up a little bit because it's actually over, I think, 17.5. So I did the 20 plus to get the plus 185. And this is Ghost Boy. Okay, Kevin Huerter. Okay, we've hit on Kevin Huerter before. Okay, I like the 3+ 3-pointers made tonight. Plus 245 is a nice chunk of change. And again, it goes to the narrative of Indiana trading a lot of players and having not a lot left, trying to sort it all out. So I think there'll be some extra guys playing minutes they normally don't play tonight, which is going to give her a lot more time on the perimeter, be open a lot more on pick and rolls. The dish outs from Trae Young. Again, I put Trae Young as my core. I think he's going to have a lot of double-digit assists tonight, and a lot of them go to Huerter. So I think Huerter will be hot tonight. 3+ 3 for me with plus 245. But listen, as always, I got to roll. Ghost and Adam, I'm going to keep this going. If you want, watch Heat Ratio Sports Night, Heat Ratio Live. I'll be live talking all things Philly sports at 7 p.m. on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. But boys, good luck tonight. Enjoy the rest of the eating. We'll talk tomorrow. And everybody, thanks for joining in. And I'll leave you guys with Adam and Ghost. Take it away.
Thanks, Tony. Adam, we'll get it going here. Props for profit. I see that you sent over 3 of them. A man who is, maybe MVP, I guess, maybe not, but we'll start with him.
I was going to say, I've got 2 potential MVPs in mind tonight.
Joker over 36.5 points and rebounds. -1.
Yeah, listen, it's not like the best return on investment ever. -15 is usually about the limit to what I'll go, maybe 120. But, like we were saying, man, the Knicks just have no big guys left. Like, Taj Gibson's not grabbing rebounds over him. Julius Randle's probably not going to grab a whole lot of rebounds over him. There's nobody to stop him. He's averaging 39. Like, just in his normal run. I don't understand why it's so low. So I'm willing to lay that little bit of juice to get on this number. If you want to, if you want to put it up to like 40 on FanDuel, which I know you can for probably a little bit of better return, I do not hate that at all.
I like that. Giannis over 5.5 times, plus 105.
Yeah, so he's already averaging right about 5.5, if I'm not mistaken. His assist rate's over 32%. He's averaging 5.9 per game. This game features 2 teams that are top 9 in possessions per game, has the highest over-under on the slate. Giannis should easily push 35 minutes here.
Absolutely love it. In LA too, primetime game. Last one, my boy Chris Duarte. Before you get into your explanation, my bad. Sorry, I'm already cutting you off before you even get the
No,
chance
go ahead.
to explain it. I just want to say that this line has moved 20 points already. So it was up plus 110 this morning, and now it's up minus 110.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys can still get it around there because I know it'll probably continue to drop or it's going to jump up to 17.5. I don't know about you, but I'm good to up to 18.5 because there's nobody left. They traded everybody today. Sabonis, Levert, Brogdon is questionable, but he's been dealing with it. I would doubt it. He's been dealing with the Achilles. They clearly, have nothing really to play for this season at this point.
Yeah.
So Duarte is going to be running the show. He only took 12 shots last game, still scored 22 points. 16.5 is just way, way too low.
Yeah, and he's been shooting well lately too, which, early in the season, it's his rookie season too. Let's not forget about that. And he's going through a bit of a struggle after that hot start out the gate. And now he's really settled down and he's finding a shot and he's getting through that zone pretty well. So especially I love primary ball handlers against Atlanta. So
right,
absolutely love this one. My first one is going to be Jaylen Brown over 24.5 points at minus 105. Look, I want to say Boston's going to blow the doors off of Brooklyn tonight, but Boston sucks.
They probably are.
So the Celtics, all Boston sports. I can't stand Boston sports teams. My bad. If anyone in the chat is from Boston, my bad. It's absolutely nothing against anybody from Boston. I just hate all Boston sports teams.
You've been spoiled. I apologize for nothing.
I can't stand Boston sports teams. Like I cannot.
You have
stand
like
Boston
20
sports
championships
teams, so
in the past 10 years. You can
relax. That too. So I will go with Jaylen Brown over 24.5 points. It's going to be an absolute chalk meet, and the model shows way over 24.5 for JB tonight. And the one thing that if you guys want to have fun with this, as you should be, is that Jaylen Brown has been liking tweets for the past 2 days about how LaMelo Ball got in as an all-star reserve over him. And he said, take note. So I'm taking note and I'm going JB over 24.5 points against, I guess we'll say Brooklyn defense. Do they even know what defense is? But anyway,
especially their backups.
JB over 24.5 against the likes of Cam Thomas and Patty Mills. The second one, I'll be honest, I took these as straight bets. So both end up being, around that minus 110, minus 105 range. But if you want to player combo them, especially on FanDuel and DraftKings, I know that they offer these. Wendell Carter Jr. double-double plus the Orlando Magic money line ends up being anywhere between plus 210 and plus 225. So over on FanDuel right now, it is at plus 225. I know that DK has some boost as well for a same game parlay. If you want to go with any bets regarding Wendell Carter Jr., the two that I like are the double-double, obviously, as you see on your screen right now. And my favorite Wendell Carter Jr. bet of the day, I didn't post it here because it is at only minus 105, and I already posted my minus 105 play of the day. I wanted to get one that was plus money. Wendell Carter Jr. over 14.5 points is still at minus 105 on most books right now. So if you can jump on that and you want to go a bit of a safer route, that would be my recommendation. If not, Wendell Carter Jr. double-double against whatever is left of this Portland team. And the Orlando
defense with their starters.
Yeah. And the Orlando Magic money line. Man, I don't see how Wendell Carter Jr. and Cole Anthony don't do some serious work tonight. So I do like both of those guys on the prop market. So we'll get through some questions before we head out of here. Evan Turner, number 2 overall. That was so funny. I'm just rereading that comment. That was really funny. Got a lineup from Jimmy, DSJ, Duarte. I assume that's DeAndre Hunter, Giannis, Joker, McLemore, Winslow, and Hayes. Anything you don't like in this one?
No, I'd be full send with that one.
Yep, I like it as well. Sucks that Justice Winslow is power forward only tonight, but
it does make it a bit of a pain. But
who's guarding Cat? Anthony Edwards' selfishness with the ball. That's who's guarding Cat.
I mean, look, it is nobody. He's right. But Cat is 10-2, LeBron is 10-5. That's
it's tough for me to get there. Jeremy Grant is 5,400.
Yeah, I wanted to circle back to that, which I know he struggled since he's come back. He's not
Right, you have to play Jeremy Grant at 5,400.
Great, but 5,400 on FanDuel.
Right, you have to play Jeremy Grant at 5,400. That makes no sense.
That's a free square.
Pretty min price over there is pretty like 30. The 3,500 guys don't even count. The 3,500 guys likely aren't even on NBA rosters.
Yeah,
it's like 4,500 is usually min price there.
Exactly. I mean, he's 62 on DK. That I have no interest in. 54 on FanDuel is ridiculous.
Any talk regarding? I don't like Luka tonight against the Pistons like at all.
There's no need to go there. I don't think.
I can't stomach playing 12. Like this is like I know we talked about Jaylen Brunson earlier before. Jaylen Brunson grades out really well for me tonight. So I personally can't get there because it's not that he doesn't grade out well. I just said that he does. Anthony Simons grades out even better. So like it's all about who's in that range for me. That's why I can't play Jaylen Brunson. But Jaylen Brunson grades out really well. And when that happens, it's likely at the expense of Luka Doncic. So it's one thing to note. And Reggie Bullock has been shooting lights out. Shout out Reggie Bullock, man. Ever since THJ went down,
yeah,
Reggie Bullock's been going nuts.
Jumped into that role pretty nicely with him and KP down.
Yeah.
But I would have it ranked Joker, LeBron, Trae, Luka pretty far down that ranking.
Yeah, Luka isn't even in the rankings for me tonight. So I would go, just flip Trae and LBJ. So the way that you have it written there, Joker, LeBron, and then Trae.
Yep.
Terry Taylor. I don't know. I'll run the model when I get off here to see Jimmy just to confirm. Thoughts on Bembry tonight? I mean, I don't think there's going to be a difference whether he's on the hard court or on a treadmill, but
here's my thing. I understand that Brooklyn's shorthanded. Why am I going to play DeAndre Bembry when I can play all the Portland guys and the guys from Indiana? Like, I don't necessarily think Bembry gets a ton of minutes if they get waxed. He doesn't do anything with them anyways. And then on top of that, like, if they get spanked, like he might play 25. I'll take the Portland guys who are going to play 30 plus because they don't have anybody else.
Do you have the model up by any chance?
I do.
Are any Brooklyn guys in the top 10 other than Cam Thomas?
Sharp is the only other one.
See, like this is what Jimmy, if you're still on the show, like this is what I was talking about before, right? Like Boston is like I know it doesn't. I said how much I hate Boston sports teams and this and that. But Boston is quietly the number one ranked defense in 2022 right now. Not the season, the calendar year. So since January 1st, Boston has a number one ranked defense in the league. So I get the amount of opportunity that a lot of these guys have. It doesn't change the fact that there's just better options tonight. Like it's a far better game environment between Portland and Orlando than Brooklyn versus Boston. I'll say that. That's Harden in an old uniform. Yeah, no kidding. That does not surprise me in the least. Kevin Porter Jr. You want to touch on Kevin Porter Jr. first?
I think you had him written up, did you not?
I did.
I mean, he's right in that range of what we were talking about earlier. Like Davion's really chalky tonight. Duarte is not. So like if you wanted to get off the Davion chalk and play KPJ, and we talked about this earlier. I don't understand. These two teams just played each other. The total was 234, 235 in some places. It's down to 224 today. I don't really understand why, but this game should still be, everything we always expect in a Houston game, which is fast paced, no defense.
It's weird too because you said it opened at 234 last time.
Something like that, 232, 234. It was in that range.
Yeah, because they hit 227 last game.
And it's 225. So, I mean, it's still, higher on the higher end of things. There's only...
And that first quarter was abysmal. Houston couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat in that first quarter. And it still hit 227. I wrote up that game. So, look, my thing with Kevin Porter Jr. is this, guys. I guess we'll end the show on this. When it comes to that 5K guard range, that will make or break your lineups tonight, in my opinion. Yeah. And
no, I agree with that.
It's like everybody's going to go X amount of Portland guys, whether it be 3, whether it be 4, whether it be 2. I'm personally sticking with 2, and that's it. Because similarly to what I said about when we had that slate with the Pelicans, when it was Jose Alvarado and all those other guys.
Style.
Yeah, Big Willie style and Nikhil
Dropping
Alexander
30 on
Walker.
Embiid's head as chalk.
Yeah, let's not revisit
sometimes.
that. But like that was a night where I was saying like even just playing two of those guys already makes you different, right? Because the large majority of the field is going to go 4, and that's what happened. And it's the same thing that I don't like to use the words always or never, but it's as pretty close to always as it gets that 4 people from the same team won't work on a 10-game slate. It doesn't matter how cheap they are.
So even a different example is if you remember that Sunday we just had with all the Spurs out and they got smacked. And no Spur did well. No Spur did well. If you had 4, you got housed.
You were absolutely cooked. You were cooked.
You were done before that game was over.
You were cooked. And it's just that's one thing is that I'm going 2 Portland guys, like I said, in my core. And then my 2 mid-range guys are going to be Jackson Hayes and then a guard.
Yep.
And if De'Aaron Fox is active, it pains me to say this. You guys know how much I love Baylor. You guys know how much I love Davion Mitchell. Talked about him in the draft. Like I've been talking about Davion Mitchell before anyone knew who he was. I would love to play Davion Mitchell tonight, but it's just way too many people rostering Davion Mitchell if De'Aaron Fox is back. It's the one thing that I will say. And there are not good options. There are great options right around where Davion Mitchell is priced. And for me, it's Chris Duarte. And that second one is the one that Keith just mentioned. It's Kevin Porter Jr. People will overlook that bad shooting night. Man, it was just one of those nights. He couldn't hit a shot. It happens. Like, I'm looking at it right now. I remember watching that game. He was 2 for 9 from deep. He missed his free throws. He was slouching on the bench. I remember watching that game because I had so much invested in DFS from that game, as both of us did, because it was the game to stack. It's a Houston game. And I watched the first half and I was like, man, KPJ just looks lost out there tonight. And tonight, guys, it's the same spot. You can't look at it the way that it worked out last game. He can absolutely explode on this slate. And he's 5,600, guys, 5,600 for a primary ball hunter against the Pelicans. You know how much we love this spot.
And so he managed to score 27 DK while shooting like garbage. So imagine if the shot's on a little bit.
He played awful. He played so bad. And like he's still producing. So for me, and you guys will see in the model, a lot of Houston guys grade out well. I'm likely going to have a Houston player coming back on my Jackson Hayes play.
Yeah.
It might end up being Kevin Porter Jr., especially if De'Aaron Fox is active. And I might even double dip the chip. We'll end it with this now because we really got to end it. I might even double dip the chip and fade Davion and play De'Aaron Fox.
That's definitely going to put you near the top if that works out because nobody's rostering those guys. Nobody.
It's something to consider tonight. But if De'Aaron Fox doesn't play, everybody knows. If you weren't here for the beginning of the show, please rewind. Don't take what I've just been saying about the last 5 minutes and saying, oh, he doesn't like Davion Mitchell. Literally talked 30 minutes about how much I love Davion Mitchell. So just make sure to rewind and go back there. Right. The last question of the day, Ja against the Clippers. Yes, I wrote up Ja, and he is the cover athlete of our article today. So
under 12% currently.
Primary ball handlers versus the Clippers are a thing. He's been scoring at an absurd rate, leads the league in points in the paint, and the Clippers rank 27th in points in the paint allowed per game. A point guard, a 6'3" point guard, leads the league points in the paint per game.
Dude is absolutely fearless going to the cup.
Absolutely absurd. His drive rate is through the roof. The Clippers can't defend anything, let alone the dribble and drive. I love Ja tonight, and I do still have some love for Desmond Bane. I'll say that. But I love fading shock. Keith, you're the man. All right. Any last thoughts on it? We're good?
No, man, I think we laid it out pretty well.
That's it. So we'll see you guys in Discord. Make sure you join WinDailySports.com. Follow us on Twitter, please, and smash that like button. Please, please, please smash that like button. We've been absolutely killing it for the better part of pretty much all of 2022, including the beginning of the season as well. Make sure you guys please smash that like button, and we will see you in Discord, and we'll be back for another 3-Man Booth episode tomorrow. Take it easy.